Hello, everyone. Welcome. I'm going to give you guys a moment to get logged in. This is a conversation that I felt needed to be had with event professionals, and I recently had this conversation on this past week, this past Sunday, with my students that I'm mentoring. But I definitely wanted to, the more I thought about it, the more I felt as though I needed to bring this more to the forefront and to discuss it with you all to some um, extent so that you too can be aware of what is happening around the world. So, if you are here for the very first time, hello, my name is Melanie, and welcome to Living Luxuriously for Less. Hi, Marie, how are you? And here on this YouTube channel, I love to share things around event planning, decor, um, uh, baby showers, bridal showers, parties, etc. I love teaching, I love inspiring, and more than anything, I love to make people happy through the gift that God has blessed me with. So, with that being said, hello, Cheryl. Hello, Marie. You guys come on in. Come on in. I am going to. I am going to. Hi, Don. Hi, Audrey. Hello. Let me turn this down. I'm just making sure everything is good to go. Hi, Latoy. Hi, Lisa. Hi, Dawn. Hi, Audrey. Hi, Tina. Hello. How are you all doing tonight? Okay. So, what I want to talk about briefly, hi, Wanda. And I'm not going to be on here very long. But I'm not sure if you guys have been following what has happened in China with the current tariffs and how that's going to impact you as an event professional, whether you are an event designer, an event decorator, an event planner, coordinator, DJ, caterer. All of us are going to be impacted and in some sort of way. And so I highly encourage you all to research more, to stay tuned to what's happening in the news today. Like literally today, I saw where a lot of big box retailers are holding their Christmas decor waiting for this tariff situation to be sorted out. So you have large retailers like Hobby Lobby. Michael's announced that it's going to be closing some stores today. You have Hobby Lobby, Walmart, Target. A lot of these stores are leaving their containers at sea because of this huge tariff that they may be faced with paying. And so just like those things are being encountering this extra tax or tariff, the same thing is happening also in event planning and design. So I have been working with a vendor on some pre-made floral arrangements that were absolutely gorgeous. And right when they were getting ready to ship them today, they were hit with this tariff. Even though I ordered these items several weeks ago, back at the beginning of the month, today when it got ready to go out for shipment, it was hit with this tariff. And so, what you're going to have to decide is, who are some domestic partners that I can ship items from that will not have to encounter this tariff. You need to be looking at events that you have coming up, and purchasing items for those events now. Even if that event is in December or October, the lead time to get some of these things is greatly and drastically increasing. I was just talking to this same vendor, and we were looking at some other options for me being able to get these items in. And what they told me was that we may have to ship these items in, whereas before they could do it by air. Now they're looking at having to do this by boat. And with that being said, it's going to take like an extra 30 to 60 days to receive these items. Now, thankfully, I don't need these items until the fall. But if we're already 30 to 60 days out, what are we going to do when in several months, if this thing does not get resolved? What are we going to do at that point? And so I want you guys to understand that everything is being impacted. Like whatever you can think of that is in the event planning arena, as a creative entrepreneur in this wedding and event industry, you have to stay ahead of these economic shifts in these trying times. So there are several different areas that are going to be impacted. In those areas are going to be decor and florals, furniture and rentals, stationery and printing, apparel, accessories, anything dealing with fabric, whether it's a wedding dress or a bridesmaid's dress or a tuxedo or napkins or table linens. All those things are going to be impacted. All of your catering items will be impacted. Consumables will also be impacted. Tech, lighting, and AV will be impacted. If you do seasonal decor like for the fall, or if you do seasonal decor for Christmas, these things can also possibly be impacted if they don't come to a resolution soon. And so what you need to be thinking about next is, how is this going to affect my pricing market? How is this going to affect the current clients that I have? And what am I going to be doing moving forward? You need to think about that, because it is serious. It is serious. And this is not meant to frighten you. I'm not trying to scare you. I just want you to be prepared, because I do believe that, in the scripture, it tells us that in the last days, the wealth of the wicked is going to be transferred into the hands of the just. And I do believe, as children of God, that we do not have to be afraid of this, but we do need to be prepared. We do need to use wisdom, and we do need to use knowledge, and we need to stay abreast of what's happening in the news each and every day, because it's changing constantly. Things are changing. And so I wanted you all to kind of be aware of what changes to expect in our industry. Now, another thing that we need to think about is, what kind of strategies are you going to be putting in place to stay profitable? What kind of pricing models can you do? How can you use the resources that you already have in your hands? All of these things are going to be essential as you move forward in this industry in this year ahead. Now, we are reminded in the Bible, it tells us in Matthew, that as it was in the days of Noah, so will it be in the coming of the Son of Man. For in the days before the flood, people were eating and drinking, marrying and giving in marriage, up to the day that Noah entered into the ark. And they knew nothing about what would happen until the flood came and took them all away. That is how it will be at the coming of the Son of Man. So we know that according to the scripture, God tells us that people are still going to be getting married. They still going to be getting engaged. They're still going to be having parties, eating and drinking, and enjoying life. And so we don't have to worry about that aspect of the business. Okay, there's still going to be people there that are still going to be celebrating. What we should be not worried, but concerned about, is how we are to proceed as event professionals. Okay. And, with TikTok, you see a lot of TikTok videos where they're exposing different vendors, and you really need to know who you can trust. You need to know where you can spend your dollars. You need to know what companies are trustworthy. Okay. And just because they have a website or a WhatsApp, it does not mean that they are trustworthy. So you need to tread lightly concerning that and decide how you want to move forward in your business. Okay. And so, what would I say do right now? You need to take an inventory, take account of all of your inventory, the events you have coming up, and the items that you need. You need to write down a list of the items that you got to have, right? Those must-have items. And then you need to make every conscious effort to be able to secure those items before they get to a point that they're no longer affordable for you. The next thing that you need to do is you need to have those conversations with your you need to have the conversations with your brides. You need to have them with your clients, letting them know, hey, these items may not be available. What do you want to do? How do you want to move forward? Then you need to look at ways to cut costs. What are some things that you can do to cut costs to still achieve that lux for less look? All of those things are going to be imperative in the days ahead. And all of those things are going to be essential for you being able to stay on top of what is happening in today's market. And so with that being said, I have started penning an ebook, and it's really inexpensive. It's only $10. And in this ebook, I give you some strategies for preparing for the days ahead. And I will be updating the ebook as changes are being made. You're right. And so all you have to do is click on that link and you'll see the updates, because it's going to be this whole ebook is digital, because I am going to be constantly updating it to kind of keep you up to breast in terms of what's happening, what vendors are running, what sales. Like right now, CV Linen is running a deal. I think it ends maybe today or tomorrow. I'm not sure. Maybe it's the 19th, where you don't have to spend $99 for free shipping. You can only have to spend $49 to get free shipping. So if you need linens, now is the time to start buying these linens. You understand what I'm saying? So I want you guys to be on top of these things. I do not want you to be afraid, but I do want you to move forward in wisdom. I want you to move forward in wisdom. Any questions for me before I go any further? I'm going to pause for a moment to see if you all have any questions. I'm going to look in the chat and check it out to see if you guys have any questions for me as we move forward. Any questions? Let me look. And if you're watching this video on replay, definitely come back and ask any questions that you may have. And in my thumbnail, I said tariffs with the word ifs in quotation, because what if? We need to be prepared either way. Teresa said great information. Thank you so much, Teresa. Do we have any other questions? Any questions you guys may have for me as we move forward? Hello, everyone that has joined. I'm not ignoring you. Hi, Audrey, Sherry, Lisa, Tina, Latoy, WC 2012, Anne, Teresa B, Mona Chica, Dolores, Wanderlust. Hello, hello, hello. Hello to everyone under the sound of my voice. So again, I'm not telling you guys this to be afraid. I'm not. I'm really not. I'm telling you this so that you can be aware of what's going on around you. Again, I covered this in great detail with the Lux Academy students, and they will tell you that it was very, very informative. And the same information that I shared with them in that particular meeting, I have made available in an ebook. It's very affordable, and it's something that I will be updating as things change. So hopefully, we'll just be prepared and we won't have to do anything with this. But if we do, we will be ahead of the of the curve. Latoya said, very good information. It's time to start thinking and getting creative. Absolutely. So I have added the ebook. It's in the chat, but it's also here on the screen. You are so welcome. Again, I'm not going to make this a super long video, but I did want to share. So if you're looking at getting centerpieces, if you're looking at getting florals, if you're looking at getting backdrops, y'all do not get scammed in this time, okay? Make sure that you're using vendors that are trustworthy to get the items that you need, because it would be a very sad thing to be scammed and still not have the items and not being able to get the items that you need for your business. And so in this ebook, I have just a section that says references, and it gives you really good references for affordable vendors in these areas. You're so welcome, Audrey. And again, this is a very short video. If you guys have more questions, definitely leave them in the comments, whether you're watching this video live or if you're watching it for the replay. But it's I do not have Tina, unfortunately, I don't have an ebook on pricing. I actually have all of that inside of my school called Lux Academy. It covers pricing, contracts, design. Latoya can tell you about it. A lot of them have taken it. Everything that you need is in there. It is no fluff inside of that. And it is a bit of a, it's $797. But once you purchase it, you won't need anything else. You are so welcome, CDWC. Wanda. Hello. Is it Wanda C. Yes, ma'am, I do. So you need to just stay on top of it. That's why I tried to make this one very affordable so you can be ready. But decide what you need first. Get things that you're going to be able to use over and over again. Try to stay away from things that are very trendy, and stick with things that are going to be what I call workhorses, meaning items that you can use over and over and over again. Okay? So that is all I have for tonight. I'm going to pause one more time to see if I have any more questions. If you're watching this live on replay, I do try to reply to all of my comments. So be sure to leave a comment and I will definitely make my best effort to reply to it. And if I get enough interest or if something should change, I will definitely be doing follow-up videos in the future, depending on how this goes. All right. So yes, Tina. And pricing is not as simple as you think. It's not really black and white, but I do have a formula that I share. You are so welcome. Cookie, thank you. All right, y'all. So I'm not going to hold you. Let me know if you have any other questions. I have linked this here on the video. It is also in the chat. I don't know if I can pin it to the top. I'll try to pin it to the top or star it for those who may be joining later. But again, not to scare you, but just be prepared. As you see and you're thinking, what it is, if you start going to different websites and you see that a lot of products are out of stock, it's probably because they have not been able to get their products from the ports because of the tariffs. So don't be shocked. Don't be surprised. Get what you need and be prepared for the months ahead. But we'll make it through this. It's no reason to be afraid. We will make it through this. I believe that. Mel, if the client chooses to use what you already have in your inventory, would that work as well? Absolutely it will, Dolores. It sure will. You're so welcome, Sabrina. You're so welcome, Cookie. Hi, Regina. You are so welcome. So definitely use the resources. Use the recommendations that I have for trusted vendors. Okay? And just prepare. Prepare. This ebook is going to tell you everything that I have, that I recommend to do as of now. You know, this is constantly changing every day. Every day is changing. And so as I see different things that need to be adjusted or updated, I will put that in the ebook. And that's the beauty of it being digital, because you don't have to worry about purchasing information that is no longer in use unless, you know, this whole thing is resolved tomorrow. Yes, it would. Yes, wrap it up, Marie. Praise Jesus. Yes, joy full of decor. All right, you guys. So that is all I have for tonight. Go back, watch this live, get the ebook, do your research, stay on top of it. When you're talking to vendors and they're overseas, you need to ask them their lead time. Ask them, do they ship it, or is it by air or by if they ship it, or is it air travel? You need to ask them how the tariffs will be considered. Are they gonna assume those fees, or is that something they're expecting you to assume? All of that. Okay. So make sure you really get into those questions. Sounds great, Wanda. All right, y'all. It's getting late. I'm gonna get off here. I got a ton of stuff to clean up from my Amazon Live tonight. If you missed it, definitely go check it out. I appreciate all of your unwavering love and support. I'll be live again on Amazon this Thursday at 7 o'clock p.m. For those of you all who may be interested in joining me over there, I'm going to be talking about a Cloud 9 themed baby shower that I'm going to be designing. So we got to do we're going to do some custom pillows. We're going to do a lot of stuff for that shower. So join me over there. I think you're going to really love that on Thursday. And then I also have an idea to do a boots on the ground themed party. So stay tuned for that as well. Thank you so much, Audrey. Thank you all so much for watching. If you can think of any other questions that you may have, come back to this video, leave it in a comment. And if I do a follow-up video, I will be sure to include your questions and kind of elaborate on it more. And then if you're watching this replay, if you have a question that did not get answered in this video, leave your question down below. All right, so I'll see you guys at the next one. Good night.